Hello everybody, today we are talking about the present and the perfect participles, and we're starting with some very interesting examples. Do you know that 35 people died when they were taking selfies in 2017? And that a sleeping rat dreams about getting to food or running through mazes? And in your lifetime, you will spend around 38 days brushing your teeth. The present participle is the ing form of the verb, which we use to make continuous tenses, like in the first example, part of the past continuous, in the function of an adjective, a sleeping rat, and to describe another action. For example, in your lifetime, you will spend around 38 days. How? In what way? Brushing your teeth. One more interesting fact. The first hot air balloon carrying a sheep, a duck and a rooster was launched in 1783. In this sentence, we can see the present participle carrying as part of the past continuous tense form in a usual relative clause. And if you don't remember what a relative clause is, please check out the link above. But let's take a look at another example. The first hot air balloon carrying a sheep, a duck and a rooster was launched in 1783. If we remove the pronoun which and the verb was from the sentence, we will have a participle phrase or reduced relative clause with the same meaning but just shorter. So, the present participle is used in participle phrases or reduced relative clauses, which have the same meaning as usual relative clauses. And these participle phrases can be found in different parts of the sentence. In the middle, like in the original sentence. At the end of the complex sentence. The first hot air balloon was launched in 1783 carrying a sheep, a duck and a rooster, or at the beginning of the sentence. Children often go swimming in summer, run screaming, and come home crying. We often use the present participle with the verbs of movement such as go, come, jump, dance, and others. For example, children often go swimming in summer. They sometimes come home crying from school. I saw him running. I heard them singing. We also use the present participle with the verbs of sense perception, see, hear, feel, and others. For example, I saw him running. I heard them singing. They spent a fortune playing poker. He wastes a lot of time doing nothing. The present participle is often used with the verbs spend and waste. They spent a fortune playing poker. He wastes a lot of time doing nothing. When the present participle is used to describe another action in the sentence, it's often called an adverbial modifier. It can be an adverbial modifier of manner, for example, I have lived in Moscow for 10 years working as a teacher, an adverbial modifier of time. I have learned a lot of new English words living in the UK. In this case, you can also say when living in the UK. An adverbial modifier of comparison or when you want to express disbelief. For example, she looked at me as if not recognizing who I was. An adverbial modifier of cause. For example, being late, I felt embarrassed. Participles do not have any tenses, but somehow they are related to other actions on the timeline. And the present participle gives an idea of an action which is happening at the same time with another action in the sentence. I saw him running. It means that the person was running and I saw him at the same time. But how about another example? Having finished the job, I decided to take a break. In this case, one action follows the other. First, I finished the job and then I decided to take a break. In this case, we cannot use the present participle and we should use the perfect participle, having finished. The perfect participle denotes an action which is prior to another action in the sentence, so it expresses the idea of priority and is made with the help of the ing form of the verb have plus the past participle, having finished. More examples for you. Having written the test, I handed it in to the teacher. Having spoken to the chief, I wrote the report. Let's take a look at another historical fact. Built in 1937, the Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco is still considered probably the most beautiful bridge in the world. Passive meaning is usually expressed with the help of the past participle, and you can find out more about the past participle clicking the link above. And here we have the participle phrase with the past participle built. Look at the second sentence, please. Being built for quite a long time, the bridge attracted a lot of investment and workforce. In this case, we're using the present participle of the verb to be plus past participle. And this construction shows that the action is in progress, and it's more about an action which is simultaneous with another action. So, a lot of investment and workforce came at the same time when the bridge was being built. And what is important, being built is also about some passive action, so being plus past participle expresses the idea of passive meaning. And the perfect participle can also be passive. Look at this example. Having been finished in time, the bridge was opened for the public on May the 27th in 1937. And it means that the action was performed and complete by someone before another action in the sentence, so having been finished in time before it was opened, and we make it with the help of having plus been plus past participle. More examples for you. Having been written in pencil, the letter was difficult to read. Having been explained before, the rule did not present any difficulty. So, let's sum it up. We use the present participle as part of continuous tenses. For example, 35 people died when they were taking selfies in 2017. As an adjective, it was pleasant to look at the rising sun. And as an adverbial modifier, being late, I felt embarrassed. We can also use the present participle after verbs of movement, they often go swimming in summer, and after verbs of sense perception, I heard them singing. The present participle can be active, building the bridge they spent a lot of money, or passive, being built for quite a long time, the bridge attracted a lot of investment and workforce. And the perfect participle can also be active, having finished the job, I decided to take a break, and passive, having been written in pencil, the letter was difficult to read. Well, this topic, participles, is quite difficult and quite interesting at the same time, and I try to be as clear as I can. So, if you enjoyed this video and if you found this video useful, drop me a like and subscribe to my channel.